What's good, YouTube? Mr. Baker here. Today I have for y'all my 9th place SwordSoul Tenyi deck profile. I took it to my recent OTS championship last weekend. It was 7 rounds, 70 people. I went 5-2. My losses were to myself, to be honest, but I played cash and generators, which those are my losses. Oh, but throughout the matchups, I played cash round 1, Runic Spright round 2, Labyrinth 3, another cash, which was my loss. Played a mirror, played generators, which also was my loss. I tried to go for the OTK, which realistically I should have just played it slower, but yeah, nib hurts. And then my last round was branded. Overall, pretty good event. The only thing I always say that went south was last round of Swiss. Apparently there was 4 draws, so if things played out normally, I probably would have squeezed in top 8. But yeah, further ado, let's get into that pro. 3 Longyun, 3 Ecclesia, 3 Moye, 2 Taye, and I went the 1 Abyss Dragon. This card, it's situational, but the removal and the trigger to summon him comes up a lot, but the resolving his effect to banish like a field spell and a monster, that is very situational. I actually resolved this twice, and yeah, it got in there. But having a 3000 body that you can like bring him out just by having a Sinister or a Draco, you know, banishing monsters, is pretty good. I like him. I wanna do a little more testing with him, but right now I think I'm gonna stay with the 1. For the Tenyis, 3 Ashuna, 3 Vashuda, 3 Ahara, and I went 1 Shatana. For the Tenyi package, I just maxed out on Tenyis. I wanted pretty much a very strong core, and I wanted to be able to see my 7s a lot more. And honestly, I opened up at least a Vashuda and like 1 Ahara like every game, so it was pretty consistent having maxed out like SwordSoul and maxed out Tenyis. But yeah, that's it for the monster count. On to the spells. 3 Emergence. I played 2 Dragon Circles, 2 Desires. I went the 1 Vessel and 1 Blackout. The 1 Vessel gets in there, I'm gonna be honest. A Foolish, potentially a Foolish +1. This allows me to dump like if I already have a Shunas, this allows like Sinister setup, or potentially if I need a card banished and add it back right at hard, you know, you can dump a Longyun or dump a Tai if needed and get it back. Those plays actually come up more frequently. So I'm personally thinking of trying out maybe 2 Vessels going forward and maybe 1 Circle, just because you'll see with my other going second cards. But yeah, this is the spell, or rest of the Tenyi lineup I pretty much played. So yeah, now let's go on second / utility cards that I played. 3 Imperm, 3 Nib, and 3 Ash. These are pretty much my hand traps I played. Pretty solid, you know, generic. Nib, you want to hit certain decks, certain points, so like, yeah, you kind of want to see a Nib. But yeah, these perform really well, pretty standard. Then spells, 2 Eclipse, 1 Triple T, 1 Call By, 1 Crossout Designator, and the 1 Evenly. These are the rest of my going second utility cards. 2 Book is pretty self-explanatory, you know, cash, and also this can hit other decks, just pretty much stop them in their tracks. Triple T got in there. This actually won me a game, I'm not gonna lie. I was in a situation, I went Moye and drew into a Triple T, and yeah, that was it. Call by. People stoop on Shifter, and Shifter kind of hurts, but honestly, this wasn't hitting hand traps. This was hitting specific monsters that need to get like removed or like try to trigger graveyard effects. So honestly, call by. I probably would never cut that. The 1 Crossout Designator. this card puts in work, okay? I was crossing out Book of Eclipse. I was crossing out Ash Blossoms. I crossed out Nib, like that came in clutch. And at one point I crossed out an Evenly. Like that's also why I'm playing the one Evenly for like another cross out target, just because everyone and their mother's on Evenly right now. So having a cross out target for that is really, really solid. And I'm gonna be real with you, it's been a few games that I drew this going second, and I evenly my opponent, and they just didn't have an out for the evenly. And just having Tenyis or even a SwordSoul play after you break their whole board is detrimental. Like literally, I evenly a cash. She just had like a fin left, and you know, just one follow up with a Moye, just that gets you in there. So yeah, that's it for the core or main deck. Sorry, I'm playing 46. Yeah, don't judge me. I know it's a high number count, but I really wanted like a solid going second ratio, and I also really wanted a solid core. You know, like you don't want to break with SwordSoul, so like that's honestly why I maxed out on like the Tenyi, so I can always have a Tenyi in my hand. And that's why also I added in just like a few more, or pretty much like I was playing 43 for the longest, but then I was like, man, I really want to fit in more going second. So like I fit in cross-out designator with it evenly, and I managed to squeeze in like 2 books in a sense for like my 46. But honestly, dude, it performed well. My losses were to myself, so yeah, I brought a little shame to the deck, but to be honest, like it's pretty consistent. Like how I have it right now, main deck wise, the only thing like going forward I might try out is, like I said, 2 vessels, maybe 1 circle, and I'm also thinking about trying to cross out designator, just because I want to see it more. The times I did see it, it was very impactful. It pretty much sealed the game. So I was like, hey, why not put it in one more? Because cross out also makes your Abyss Dragon live. You know, say I go like cross out an Ash. Okay, well this triggers him. You know, so bam, summon. That's a free body. So yeah, I'm gonna probably try out probably 2 cross out and 2 vessel going for it, because this card is free, and if it resolves, like yeah, I'm getting in there. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. That's 46. On to the extra. Got your 2 monk and the 1 shaman. I've been going back and forth with trying to get in 3 monk, because 3 monk comes up. I actually had when I was playing cash where I went into one and he ripped my other one off a unicorn, so it really put me in a bad situation. And if I had the 3rd, it was easily breaking his board with a shooter, stuff like that. So potentially, but you really just need to, if you play smart, you can recycle 1 with a tie banish and then add it with a hard. That's like desperate situations, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe 3 going forward, but also Shaman's bro. Shaman puts in so much work. Also with playing Sinister, you can bring out Sinister as a free body, you know, sense like that. But the 1 Yazi, 2 Shishao, 2 Boxia, card is so good. 1 Berserker, the 1 Dragite. Right now, I'm not gonna lie, Dragite is putting in work for me. Labyrinth, trap tricks, you know, stuff like that. That's just puts them in a bad situation. And also I'm playing Nibs. I've resolved his 2nd effect twice to excavate the top 5, and for every rock you hit, you can bounce. I resolved this twice, and yeah, it really got in there. So I like Dry Guy. I don't think he's going nowhere. The 1 Chao Fang. This card is very situational. I really have been going back and forth thinking about cutting Chao Fang, just because like going into him, there's not really many light decks right now. I mean, it's like decks that play like Herald and I guess Drytron, but yeah, Drytron is scary. So like this is an out to Drytron, but I've made him realistically once, and that one time did save me, because I went into him, ran over like a dark like summon of a shooter, linked and bounced something that was important. So that one play, I mean, If anything, I'd probably cut him maybe for the third monk, but just having a 9 also for a body synchro wise he can go into is very important. So yeah, he depends. We'll see. You know, some personal preference, I guess. 10 play the Baron, Chinging, and the one Sinister. Yeah, I know what those do. Sinister's really good against Cash too. And then play one Punisher for 11. This card steals games. Every time I summon him, it pretty much steals games where you're close to pretty much winning the game. I wouldn't cut him. He's solid. Let's go on to the extra monsters. Simply 3 Lance. You know, this is for Cash. This is pretty decent. It's not the best, but it slows him down, and if you have a board with like protection and, you know, like a negate or something, it really gets there. They can't, you know, pot digging for hours, and you can just simply just banish, you know, go into battle phase, stuff like that. It's not bad. 2 lightning storms and 1 feather duster. Y'all know what these is for. I don't really like back row decks, so definitely Labyrinth, Trap Tricks. 1 Book of Eclipse and the 2nd Grossout Designator for the spell count. Just having a 3rd Eclipse helpful, and you want to see, like I was, you know, talking earlier, this might go in the main deck and maybe have a 3rd in the side, but that might be too much, but we'll see. Because also, you know, Grossout is good in mirror matches. Also, like, it's a good card to have in mirror. You know, cross out a Moye, oh man. Trap-wise, 3D barriers, 3 roar decrees, and the 2nd evenly. Yes, more trap hate. Yes, I do not play around with trap decks because they will steal games from me easily. Played against a Labyrinth and pretty much the Lightning, and believe it or not, evenly. Oh my god, evenly kind of destroys their trap decks if they don't have the out to that. Played also against, it wasn't at this OTS, but I went to a Locust before, which I went 5-0. I played against a Labyrinth, and I drew like Decree, Feather Duster, and like a Storm, and actually another evenly. Like, it looked broke, but it was all needed to break his board because he had like a Judgment, he had like a follow-up. So I know I went like Feather Duster, baited, you know, went battle phase evenly, trigger some of his stuff, he got more. Still had the Decree pretty much. So yeah, the side, I would say right now I kind of like it because it doesn't take away from my main deck in a sense, it just adds to it. The D barriers are in there because, you know, D barrier is a strong card, and also I can cross out D barriers a lot. I was going into like game 2s, going 2nd after I win game 1. So pretty much what I would do is like I would side in another cross out and at least 1 D barrier, depending on the matchup. If D barrier was good or not, it'd probably be like 2 D barriers. This is going 2nd. Yeah, it looks weird, it sounds bad, but when they have a setup and you try to go to synchro and they go D barrier, yeah, it's just like GG's from there because you can't establish anything. So like, it didn't come up in tournament wise where I crossed out a D barrier going 2nd, but I'm not gonna lie, I drew this going 2nd. And then past turn after I set it and made a board and he went, I think this was Cash, and like I flipped D barrier and he was just like, oh, well that's strong. And I was like, yeah, I literally saw, he was like, D barrier going 2nd? I'm like, yeah man, I literally saw 1 for a cross out target. He was like, no way. So D barrier is strong regardless. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Side deck tweaks to the side. I'm thinking about putting in another evenly. Evenly's cracked, I'm not gonna lie, just to potentially see it more, to have like another strong board breaker. Like these, you know, these are good also, but I don't know, 1 evenly side, 1 evenly main deck, you know. Also thought maybe should I drop 1 Decree, you know, do I have too much back row hate? But I feel like you can never have too much back row hate. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I like the way it runs so far. I'm gonna get more playtesting in. I know there's some half a K tournaments coming up, so I might try to take this same build or take the build I was, you know, telling you about, like just, you know, tweak this a little bit and add in like another vessel. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Like, subscribe, and I hope you like that profile. Peace.